Hey everybody, it's Joel from lowermypressure.com, and it's been 10 months now since I first started using the Stim SCS, or Stress Control System. And so I wanted to bring you guys up to date as to what my experience has been with the Stim, and also answer some questions. I get emails all the time when people visit my website about the Stim, so maybe I can answer those questions here. The first thing and most important is people want to know how I'm doing. I mean, has the Stim been successful in my particular case? And what's happened in my life since I first started using the Stim? Well, I can tell you that it has been successful. I can tell you that it's going to sound corny, but it has changed my life. And I can tell you that things continue to get better the longer that I use the Stim. Again, remember that we're trying to break patterns that we've lived with for our entire life, and it's not going to happen overnight. In my particular case, I think I had my first big, what I call aha moment at about 2-3 months. At about 2.5 weeks, I started to change, and I could tell that my anxiety level was lower. But at 2 months, I had kind of like this profound thing that happened to me when I was in the car, of all places. I have anxiety issues, and so normally I don't like to go places or do things. Not anymore. But I used to spend a lot of energy being anxious, and if I had to go someplace new, on Google and finding out Google Maps and where I was going, how long it was going to take, alternate routes, in case there's some kind of terrorist. No, I'm kidding about the last part. But using a lot of energy, and that's what happens when you're anxious or depressed. We use a lot of energy inwardly instead of outwardly doing positive things. So I remember that I was in the car, and I realized not only had I not got anxious about going to someplace new and wasting energy, I was not anxious going there. I hadn't paid attention to how much time had gone on. I wasn't looking at my watch every 10 seconds like I normally do. And I just went, aha, stuff has changed. I'm not anxious. You have this big old grin on your face. So that was kind of cool. And things continue to get better as time goes on. And I will tell you that people used to stop inviting me places because I would always refuse the invitations because I was anxious about going new places. And they'd kind of given up. They thought that I didn't care. But it wasn't true. Actually, I cared too much. And they would stop asking me. And what happened like a week ago was that a friend who normally doesn't invite me to stuff because she knows that I'm anxious, and she's very respectful about my feelings and stuff, there was something important happening in her particular life, and I asked her if I could go. And she was, I wouldn't say blown away, but she was like, wow, this is cool. I was going there to support her in this particular thing. It's something very cool. And I asked her, and it just kind of, it came out. Didn't even think twice about asking, where before there's no way in hell that I would go. So that's kind of, I'm going in a really positive direction. And yes, it has changed my life for the better. You reach certain plateaus with the Stim, and sometimes you feel that you're not going forward anymore. So you need to change things up a little bit. And by change things up, I mean turn it up a little bit, or turn it down a little bit, or use it during a different time of the day. With me, I usually use it towards the end of the day, 4 or 5 o'clock, after I've done most of the work that I have to do. I've also now incorporated using either some meditation tapes when I'm doing my Stim, or I use what's called Pressure Perfect, which is a product that's on my website. It's meant for high blood pressure, but it uses breathing exercises and squeezing, isometric squeezing exercises. And when I do that in conjunction with my Stim, I'm completely zoned out. I mean, if you want to shut your brain off, do something like that when you're using the Stim. That's one of the reasons that I play tennis, is that I'm just trying to hit that fuzzy ball and I'm not thinking about anything else. And so it's kind of good to take, a break. It's almost like, there's a little dog barking. We have dogs next door and they just, But if you take a Coke can full of change and you shake it, and it distracts the dog, and then all of a sudden the dog doesn't understand what, he forgets what he was barking about and he stops. It's kind of like what the Stim, it's a weird analogy. I'm the king of the weird analogies, but that's kind of what the Stim does to your brain, is that it gets you going in the right direction, kind of knocks you off this anxiety pathway. And so now you're using your anxiety for positive things instead of negative things. So that's the main thing about the Alpha Stim that I wanted to tell you about, is that yes, my life is moving forward very positively, and I'm very thankful that I gave it a try. The couple questions that I wanted to answer, and people are concerned when they first start, if they have some side effects or if nothing's happening, they're concerned that nothing is going to happen. That's not the case in most cases. You are moving forward and the Alpha Stim is going to help you, but you need to be a little bit patient about it. You know, remember, we've been this way for quite a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. One question that I get about the Alpha Stim is that what happens when you first start to use it? Is there any side effects? And personally, I did have some mild side effects. I had some headaches and I had some dizziness. Now, the dizziness was only when I was using the Alpha Stim and only when I had it cranked up too high. If you crank it down pretty low, the dizziness will go away. One concern people have is that if they have it too low, is it effective? And yes, it is. It's still effective. And as your body adjusts to it, your own brain chemistry adjusts to the Alpha Stim, you can start to ramp it up subtly as time goes on. So don't worry about the dizziness, just crank it down. Also, don't worry about the headaches. I did have some subtle headaches when I started. Just use Advil, Tylenol, whatever your pain reliever of choice is, and they'll go away. If you have a lot of questions and concerns about the Alpha Stim, you don't think it's working for you, or you're having problems adjusting to the Alpha Stim, talk to the Alpha Stim people. Go to their website. They have an 800 number on there, I believe. Call them. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time, and they really want to see you succeed. So, and they're wonderful to talk to. I did call them a couple times and ask them some questions, and they were just absolutely terrific and gave me some great advice on how to, when, like I said, if you reach these particular plateaus and you don't feel you're moving forward anymore, they'll give you some advice as to how you can move on and kind of break through that plateau. So I'm expecting, terrific things to keep on happening in my life. And I'm starting a new business venture because of the Alpha Stim, because I'm taking that energy that I used to burn up being anxious all the time, and I'm going to be using it for something positive instead of something negative. One thing that some people do is that they don't put this little clip in all the way, their Alpha Stim, and when they first started using it, they don't feel that anything is happening, and they're right, nothing is happening because it's not plugged in all the way. So that's one thing that you want to look out for. Also, people ask me, how long do you use the pads for, the little felt pads that are inside the Alpha Stim, the ear clips? And I change them about every week or so. And also, if you run out of the conduction fluid, you can use the stuff people use to wet their soft contact lenses. That'll work for a little while, but the best thing is to use the fluid that Alpha Stim sells. And if you buy a big bottle of this stuff, it's going to last you, I mean, God, I still have so much of that stuff left, and it's been, like I said, over 10 months now. So that's about it. That's what I really wanted to share with you guys, that yes, I am doing really well on the Alpha Stim, and yes, it's still working after 10 months. And if you have any questions or comments, there's a phone number on my website on the contact page. You can call me 24/7. It goes off automatically at night, so don't worry about waking me up. And as soon as I'm able, I'll return your call and be glad to talk to you about the Alpha Stim. Okay, guys, so thanks so much for taking the time to watch this. And if you're using the Alpha Stim, I hope that you're doing well. If you haven't started using it yet, feel free to ask me questions or go ahead and contact the Alpha Stim people. All right, so thanks a lot again for watching. Talk to you guys again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.